Hello? Hello? Is anybody in here? Hot toddy. Time to do get real. Oh, I don't like this at all. Nope, sure don't. Uh-oh. Ah! Oh, it's just you, Big Dracula. Okay.
But I want to suck your blood.
No.
One, two.
That is not the Dracula we saw. It's not.
My boss, he's different.
You can't get him out of your head.
No.
Hello, I bid you welcome. I'm Hot Toddy. This Miss Pinguino, and we welcome you to an all-new episode of Get
Real.
And on this episode, I'll stop being weird now. No, I mean it makes sense that we would act a little strange because we just got done seeing a movie.
That's a little strange.
That's a little strange. If you haven't figured it out, we saw the new Universal film, their comedic take on one of their classic horror monsters. The movie was called Renfield. Of course, Renfield is the sidekick, the what do they call him?
Servant.
The servant, the familiar of Dracula. And so that's why Big Dracula's with us here on this episode. And I had to bring the Dracula jacket back out, obviously, for something like
And
this.
I just have a cat in my pocket.
Well, you could say that that Renfield's kind of a pussy through most of the film.
Aww.
Emotional damage.
No, but it's kind of true, actually. He is. He doesn't. But that's beside the point. Why are you going out of frame? Where are you going? The show's right here.
I'm yawning.
Wake up!
But yeah, so we saw Renfield. Interesting film, to say the least. Miss Pingrino, what did you think of Renfield?
I mean, it's...
Yeah, exactly. You don't have an immediate response, do you?
No. Grant you, we didn't go in thinking it was gonna be good.
No.
Or great, or anything. We, went in thinking it would be a bad, almost like B-movie funny.
Yes, especially since it has Nicolas Cage. And
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage at this point in time, his name on a film is sort of like a punchline. It's his name to movies is sort of like what Nickelback is to music. It's more of a punchline than it is like, oh, big box office excitement. Nicolas Cage is going to be in this.
That was ass.
But the difference between him and Nickelback is he relishes in that. I think he enjoys it.
Probably.
And he gets some rather fun roles that I have to admit are very entertaining. Like he was in a very great film a few years ago called Mandy. We have it on Blu-ray. It's a great film. We've also seen him recently with Pedro Pascal in the I forget the full name of it. It's like the Burden of Talent, something like that. The Huge Burden of Talent. I forget.
No idea because I've not seen it.
I haven't seen it either. This one I haven't seen, but like it very much interests me. It kind of flopped at the box office, but it looks like it's pretty fun.
But
So
I do
much
like
so.
me some Pedro Pascal.
So much so that that movie donned a very famous meme that's going around right now. It's the one where Nicolas Cage turns his head around and then you see Pedro Pascal looking like a madman smiling at him. That's the movie that meme is from. So you at least got that out of it. But regardless, everybody
Seen the meme.
Yeah, everybody loves Nicolas Cage. He's a fun guy, and he's not afraid to make fun of himself and laugh. And I think that's exactly what he's doing with this film. He's having a big laugh, and I think that's extremely entertaining.
I'm a vampire! I'm a vampire! I'm a vampire!
I think that's where we need to start with this film is Nicolas Cage because he stole the show. I mean, his performance of Dracula, it's over the top, but it's insanely entertaining.
Yeah.
I mean, he was fantastic.
What's with the thousands of teeth though?
Well, I
That's
don't.
more of like a monster thing.
Well, Dracula's a monster. He's an undead.
I understand that, but he was originally a human, so his teeth should be like
normal with fangs.
Like,
yeah,
it's
normal
literally
with
like
fangs.
they're all Almost looks like shark teeth.
Well, yeah, shark teeth, but I guess that's...
It was very distracting for me.
That's interesting you bring that up. I think that's just kind of a modernization of vampires, although most vampires movies you see, it's still the same old regular teeth with fangs.
These babies.
And he even shows that he has fangs.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Not till the very kind of like the very end.
But like they make it a point to say he has specific fangs that he uses from this specific thing. But then again, you could also nitpick. Dracula doesn't have long fingernails. This is based off of the Bela Lugosi Dracula. If you remember at the beginning of the film, and they show this some in the trailer, where he's like, "I'm Dracula," and it's black and white. They've redone the scenes from the original Dracula film.
I am Dracula.
I am Dracula.
So that's what that's.
But the original Dracula, I still don't think he had like shark teeth.
No, he didn't. That's the point. You're nitpick. But that's a nitpick. You're nitpicking.
Well, it was distracting.
You're nitpicking, and that's what I'm explaining. Is that's just kind of how they're doing it with modern horror movies, because Dracula didn't have super long fingernails. He didn't look like a monster. Bela Lugosi's Dracula looks like a suave, sophisticated aristocrat type.
Well, yeah, because he was supposed to be able to like blend into society so that he could kill people and drink their blood.
Yeah. And so, but I guess you could argue though that like 90, because this is again that's supposed to be Bela Lugosi's Dracula. It's been 92 years since the original Dracula came out. I guess you could say that even the undead age somewhat.
It's not going to give you more teeth.
Shut up! Oh my God, I don't care!
Why are we having this discussion? We're already we're like 6-7 minutes into the show here, and we're having this discussion. You're killing me, Smalls. You really are.
Sorry. Did he make a good Dracula? Yes.
But for what this movie was, and that's going to be the review is
for what it is.
For what this movie was.
So look, let's be real. They have not made a lot of comedies recently.
Or horror comedies. They haven't made a lot of fun horror comedies in years.
True, but like just in general, anything funny they haven't really done, and the few that they have, kind of like okay, nothing's really been a hit.
Well, there's no comedy. That's the thing, is that there's just been so many things that's been done at this point
that's really
any comedy that comes out. It's
comedy.
What'd I say?
Comedy.
Well, I was getting ready to burp, so on you.
Stop it!
Comedies, yeah, they just don't have a lot of weight to them, especially to be put out in theaters. So when you have a high concept like, let's take one of the original horror monsters of Universal and turn it into a comedy and base it more around, the sidekick, the servant, if you will. That's interesting. That's entertaining. Yeah. So I like that they went that way. But this movie is weird as shit.
It's so weird. If you do not like bad 80 horror movie gore.
This wasn't even 80s. This is straight up new. This is 21st century gore, because it was very computer simulated.
Yes, but like what I mean by like the 80s, where it was like almost like over exaggerated.
Well, yeah.
But
you're dealing with a supernatural presence, so it's going to be
true,
over the top.
But yeah. even in like horror movies today, like you get a decent amount of blood, but literally at one point a guy's organs are punched through his butthole.
Ben Schwartz, that was his character. Yeah.
So,
did you know? You did realize that was Sonic the Hedgehog, right? That's the guy that does the voice of Sonic in the Sonic movies.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's Ben Schwartz.
That's great.
Yeah.
When I saw the script, I was like, my name is the title of the movie. I'm perfect for this.
Yeah, so he gets that. So that happens to him. But yeah, like getting back to the action. The action is extremely schlocky. It's like a bad cheesy action movie.
So bad.
And it's over the top. And it's just crazy. It's crazy.
They rip some guy's arms off and they start
town.
beating each other with arms.
That's like a movie something you'd see in a bad B movie. That's like something you'd see like a Deadly Prey.
Oh, these are weapons. Hada!
That's the kind of thing you would see in a bad B movie. So the fact that they threw that in what's supposed to be a horror comedy was brilliant, in my opinion. It was brilliant.
I also love that Awkwafina was in it. I didn't know she was in it because
Awkwafina plays Awkwafina in this movie, and that's kind of my thing about her, is that she kind of just plays like one character in all of her films. It's basically, I'm a hard ass.
But that's who she is.
That's who she is.
It's fine.
It's kind of stereotypical for her, though. Not stereotypical. What the typecasting? It's more typecasting for her. So,
in Crazy Rich Asians, she didn't play some hard ass.
But she played like the wacky person. She played like the comic relief.
She did play the comic relief.
And we had plenty of comic relief in this. Well, I guess she was more comic relief for this movie too. She was funny.
I wouldn't pin her as the comic relief, to be honest.
Dracula wasn't the comic relief. I guess Ben Schwartz was, but he's the villain. So I don't know. See, this movie was good for what it was. That's the point I'm trying to make to you on this episode of Get Real. But yeah, there was a lot of schlockiness to it, a lot of silliness, and Nicholas Hoult, I love him in a lot of stuff he's in. Fun fact, he starred with Nicolas Cage in a movie in 2005 called The Weatherman. He played Nicolas Cage's son, and now he's playing Renfield, opposite Dracula in this film. So it's fun.
I know him as the Beast, and I will always know him as the Beast.
He's Beast. He's Beast from the newer X-Men films. Yeah, he's Beast. It's fine. It's fine.
Whatever. Or he was in the zombie movie too.
Zombies R Us. What was that called? I don't remember.
Don't think that was it.
I don't remember. But it was like zombies trying to live amongst people.
Yes, and he winds up becoming alive again.
Yes.
Yes. Whatever.
So the plot of the film is kind of weird.
Renfield's trying to kill Dracula.
This is what I thought the plot of the film was going to be. That's another thing, is there was a little bit too much going on in this film. If you weren't going to expand this into a bigger thing, there was just way too much going on. That's one of my few nitpicks of the film, is that there was just a lot happening on the screen, a little too much, as a matter of fact. I thought going into this that the plot was going to be Renfield, of course, is the servant of Dracula. After 90 years, he's tired of serving him. He's like, I'm out. I'm going to try to get away from him. Dracula gets pissed about it, and then he and Awkwafina have to stop him because the police don't believe that there's a vampire. Count Dracula is running around there. So they're on their own. They have to stop him. That's sort of what the plot was. It kind of what it ended up being.
Yeah.
But in the middle of all this, there's a crime family. And the crime family is doing crime in the city. And it's New Orleans. Hey, Miss Pingrino.
It's always New Orleans.
You know what planet that's on? But yeah, so they're doing the thing. There's a crime family. The crime family wants to kill Awkwafina. And
they don't want to kill her.
They do want to kill her.
They don't want to kill her. They want her on their payroll, and she will not.
Because spoiler alert, spoiler, all the cops are corrupt and they work for the crime family. So
the only one who's not corrupt
is Awkwafina.
Which
is a very hot fuzz situation. Not super fuzz, that's what we are. Hot Fuzz. Did you ever see Hot Fuzz?
I loved Hot Fuzz.
Yeah,
I own Hot Fuzz.
Do you own it?
Yes, I do.
We're gonna have to watch that sometime soon. But yeah, it's a very Hot Fuzz situation where everybody's in on it. And
surprise, motherfucker.
So she has to go on the run, but Renfield looks like he's murdering people. Technically, he is. He's an accessory to all the murders of Dracula.
Yeah.
And then Dracula gets linked up with the crime family, and then they have to stop everybody. Fucking everybody's a bad guy at this point. Yeah. Everybody is they're familiars. Everybody gets turned into Nicholas Holt's type character. Everybody gets turned into a Renfield, and they have to stop everybody. It's just, but that's the thing. It's like there's so much going on. There's like, much like Mario, there were 3 different stories. You had the Renfield story, you had the Awkwafina story, you had the crime family story.
Yeah.
And then they all intermerged into one big thing. And believe it or not, I thought this movie, I looked at my watch, I thought we were going on 2 hours. All of this got crammed into 93 minutes.
What the hell is even that?
We weren't in the theater
weren't
for longer.
Yeah.
Grant you, for me, the theater scenario, like the theater issue of being excruciatingly hot, like withdrew from the ability to enjoy.
That's a whole different story.
The movie as well, because like I never step out in a movie. I could not have to pee, not have to nothing. Like I could sit there forever. But it was so hot in there, I had to step out for a moment.
Bad. It was real bad. They had the heat pumped in the theater.
It is 91,000 damn degrees. What the fuck do I need to put this bitch on? Power Ranger?
Yeah.
This is why there's a lot of people like Red Letter Media who are fine with theaters being over with. And I still enjoy the theater experience when it's good.
Yeah.
But when I walked out of the theater. Remember, we came home and I felt my armpits. I'm like
pit stains, dripping.
I thought it wasn't dripping. Don't make the people sick.
You're done. You're done.
I just felt my pits were wet, and I'm like, I never perspire because I'm a very hygienic person. I wear deodorant like there's no tomorrow. You know that.
He wears like a stick every day.
I do, and I never sweat under my armpits. So for me to sweat, I was like, good God, what happened?
So, and not that has anything to do with like the review of the movie, but my particular take on the movie might be a little weighted because it was kind of uncomfortable in there to sit there and watch it.
Sure. But the movie was fun, though.
The movie was fun.
But that was my point, is getting back to all that, is they crammed so much into an hour and a half. And I wanted to make a note of this because they crammed so much in 93 minutes. But I watched another review of Renfield today from Chris Stuckman. Shout out to him. He said, basically, and I agreed, that the cutting room floor must have been very, very full. Because everything was a little too convenient. Everybody got to where they were right at the time that they needed to get there. There was no like build up to people getting to places. They were just there. They just ended up there. Like, oh, that's where Renfield was. Let's go to the hospital. And then Dracula appears. Oh, Dracula's like, oh, you go to therapy. Well, I'm to group therapy. I'm going to be at the group therapy place. There he was. There was no build up to anything.
I mean, but like, how would you build that up in a bad B movie? You don't.
But that's the thing, is they managed to get the whole thing into 90 minutes, which is rare for this time of year. This time of year, movies are longer. This period that we're in, where movies are, big epics are like 2 hours, 2.5 hours, 3 hours long. You're in there for days trying to take in all this stuff. But they managed to get it all into 90 minutes, but it still felt like there was a lot for that movie. And so I think what could have been interesting is if they broke this up into two parts. I don't know if this movie is going to do well enough for them. They shouldn't do a sequel. Don't do a sequel.
Just get out of here, you stupid dumb animal.
You don't need to do a sequel. But
you ended it just fine.
Don't do it just fine. Don't do another sequel. Don't do another movie, please. But if they were to do that, they could have broken it up into two parts, and it would have been.
I don't think people would have watched two parts.
That's the thing, is I don't think this movie's going to do well enough that they could have done two parts. But they did leave it sort of ambiguous because there's only two ways really you can kill a vampire, and that is exposing them to the sun or driving a stake through their heart. And they didn't do that at the end of the movie. Spoiler, they cut him up into a bunch of pieces.
Well, they did a lot of things to him.
Yeah, but...
Because in some stories, decapitating him would do, burying him, dousing him in holy water, burying him on holy ground. There's other ways to kill a Dracula. It depends on your Dracula story.
Whatever universe you live in, I guess there's different ways, but...
So they tried everything.
Yeah, but it just I don't know. I don't know. It just seemed weird that they did that. I just feel like that kind of left it hanging. I actually went to Wikipedia after we got out of the film just to make sure there wasn't like a mid-credit or end-credit scene where like a hand pops up or he's coming back. No, I mean that's just that was just the end of the movie. The end of the movie was the end of the movie.
Good. Should be.
They should be. Yeah.
Just get out of here, you stupid dumb animal.
But overall the movie was fun. It was entertaining.
I mean, he does say that. He's like, I don't know if we actually killed him, but all I can tell you...
That's what I'm saying.
It's going to be a really long time before he comes back.
That was my thing. Is like, did they really get him? Is this over, really? So I was curious about that. Another thing that kind of confused me, though, was the fact that Renfield, when he eats bugs, he becomes so powerful.
Yeah.
And then he's supposed to be immortal because he's been who he's been for 90 years. Mm-hmm. Statistically, he should have died like 30, 40 years ago, you know? But somehow he's managed to stay alive. Yet they kicked the crap out of him. Towards the end of the movie, they just beat the living shit out of him. And then he kills, because again, Dracula makes minions out of some of the bad guys in the movie. He kills all of them. He punches through, you know, all the organs out of the ass of Ben Schwartz.
Yeah.
But I'm like, how? You're immortal. How does that work? I don't understand the logic. I got confused by the logic. I'm sure it's the
same as Dracula. If you do a certain step, you no longer become immortal. Because, like, he gets hurt, but as long as he's healed by Dracula, it's fine. They didn't get healed by Dracula.
I guess.
Not really sure Dracula could have healed your organs being punched out of your a-hole.
But if you've seen True Blood, you know that that's a thing with humans too. Like, oh no, humans dying. Oh, here's some vampire blood. You're fine. You know, you're gonna be fine. So that's the logic. But I just thought because the familiars are also supernatural, I thought maybe they had their own supernatural way of just not being killed.
No, they do believe they're immortal, but they're not invincible.
I guess.
So, like, they will live forever, but they can be killed.
Stop tape for discussion.
I don't know. That part confused me, but...
Again, decapitation does the trick.
I guess so.
Having your organs punched out your butt, which made me literally laugh out loud. Hardcore.
And that's, yeah.
I turned to him and go, it came out his butt!
It came out his butt.
Like, I say it really loud, dude.
It did. And she did. And it did come out his butt.
I couldn't help myself.
Why are you the way that you are?
But that's...
I was a little loopy at that point.
You were. It was so warm in there. But that's the overall point, is the movie is super entertaining. It's funny when it needs to be. There is a lot of violence, a lot of gore, but it's fun for what it is. Don't go into this movie expecting, a work of art, because
fantastic story.
It's not a great
creativity.
It's not a great story. Cinematography was good. It was decent. I did enjoy the look of the film. I really enjoyed the way Dracula was portrayed. I loved his look. I loved the costumes. The makeup was done very well.
The teeth.
The teeth were weird. A lot of positive things, and the acting was pretty good. But it's a fun movie for a fun night out. Don't go out there expecting to see Academy Award winning horror
definitely
film.
Not.
This is not your great grandfather's Dracula by any stretch of the imagination.
So when it comes for comedy, for me, if it's literally laugh out loud funny, I enjoy it, and I do think this qualified. There were many times where I laughed pretty hard.
Oh yeah. I mean, it was good. It was good stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, but that's basically how I feel. So, come down to the recommendation, Miss Pingrino. Would you recommend Renfield to people?
I would. Definitely not for kids because of the gore and all that. So age appropriate, guys. Let's. Older. But if
don't it to kids. No.
If you enjoy kind of like stupid, funny kind of movies, this definitely qualifies.
I agree. Again, it's. I think it's kind of tanking at the box office, unfortunately. But a lot of people thought that it was like, really, you're going to do a comedy of Dracula? It just seems weird, but overall, I enjoyed it. So I think you should go see it, because I mean, it's not like a Shaun of the Dead type. It's not going to be something that's going to be legacy that people go back to, but it is a horror comedy, and you don't see those very often. And so when they come along, you need to take them in as much as you can, because the Evil Dead series, the original series, was a comedy horror film, and now they're doing a new one, and we saw the preview. It looks terrifying.
Straight up horror.
It's terrifying, and I'm just like, well, that's not the spirit. I mean, I guess it's somewhat the spirit of Evil Dead, because I mean, it is about demons and whatnot, but I mean, it's supposed to be campy fun with Bruce Campbell. And so I was like, nah, I'm not going to see that. But like,
I thought he was going to make us go see it because he really wanted to, and then we saw that. And
I literally didn't want to see it.
Oh, didn't? Okay.
I never wanted to see it because I knew it was straight up horror, and I'm just like, that takes away the fun out of this film. But then
Plus,
again,
I won't watch it.
Then again, if you're a classic horror film, you may say making Dracula a comedy takes the fun out of that film. Go see Renfield!
Now, let's eat.
All for fun, Miss Pingrino. Well, sorry I tried to scare you with the big Dracula doll. I know he's not scary. He's a lot of fun.
Not scary.
He's not scary at all. But what if I showed you my Martin Short Ed Grimley doll?
Well, he's awkward, but not scary.
Okay, well, what about my Bozo the Clown doll?
Creepy, but not really scary.
Okay. But what if I showed you this?
Oh my god. Oh my god.